Hi, this is Elliot Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. So just kind of recap while people join. The market had a lot of follow through selling today, and the way I look at the market at this point, it almost seems like to me the emotion. There's a lot of emotion coming from the sellers, and not really panic from the buyers, even though the price seems to indicate otherwise. The reason I say that is you have to think about it from a seller's perspective. I mean, we've pretty much been kind of mocking the sellers, right, on my channel since down here because they keep posting all over. Oh, it's going to crash. No, here and here and here. No, this is it. And then going, we saw it here. No, that was it. No, it isn't. So the sellers probably are at the point of like maximum mental health breakdown. Like they probably are like ready to just like lose their freaking mind. So what do you do in a casino when you're in the hole, you're losing, you're betting and bet. So you finally just go, F it, all in. I'm going, just take this. I'm just throwing it all at you. And then you're like, whoa, what the hell? That's an overreaction. Because normally a seller before they crash the market likes to kind of top, like likes to have some kind of top in pattern, like kind of like you had here, but even on a larger degree, right? Like especially up here, you see how we kind of top, like because they're sneaky, they're kind of accumulating, baiting you in, they're being calculated, right? That's like we saw with the dollar index sellers. This was a great example of the sellers, just okay, we're gonna, we'll trap you more, now we'll crash it. See, that's what I'm seeing is a lot of just fed up emotion, and I think the Russell and Dow pumping just got the seller to the point where they're just like, F it, I'm going all in. And so we don't have a lot of panic in volume, but the VIX, man, look at this. Look at what the VIX did. So the VIX is an interesting situation, guys. We made a higher high on the daily RSI, but a lower low on the VIX. Look at that. Look at that. The VIX, with all this pent up energy, still couldn't crash the market. It's very interesting. And we talked about the VIX could have been in a higher degree, and it looks like we did get that final swing. And now the VIX is in an area of probably significant resistance. Now, can we get follow through to come out of the wedge? That's what the bear dream is. But they really need to take this peak out. So it's going to be tough to do that tomorrow. But I think they blew all their ammunition in what I do think is with this pump being so significant on the VIX, on the daily cycle reset, this sets you up for not like fours and fives. This could be a major low today or in the next day or two. Like this could be a major low setting you up for much higher prices as they essentially blew their whole stack going short or firepower, and the bulls are just like, what is going on? And then you check, a lot of the stocks were green today. Still, even with this, Nvidia and Tesla were green, guys. Facebook was green. So this was there's massive hidden bullish divergence within this market, despite what happened today. So based on that, I was not interested in leaving any position. I did rotate out of one position into another position that was a little more lucrative, but I still kept them. But this is a very interesting setup on the VIX and on the weekly cycle. We can even have a weekly cycle reset. So it's a very interesting situation on the VIX. And then, as you can see here, you have a three-wave move for W, and then you took this out with this connector wave, and now we're ready for Y. And Y would, so I'm just kind of showing you the setup going into next year, middle of next year. So today was, I think, overdone given what happened. We should have been, if we really had to panic, We should have been down at 520. Honestly, we should have been down here, but we weren't. So I'll go through some of the indices real quick and where we are based on the counts that I have. So the Dow Jones is in a wave 4, and it could actually see a little more downside before it hits a area that it could find a bounce. The SPY built a connector here, so the bounce failed for a double correction. The new entry was at 551, and we hit that and bounced. So this actually could be a major low right here at 550. It will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. The triple Qs did extend through our buy area, so this is an interesting chart because I've still labeled this a 4 and a 5, but this can easily now become a 1-2 with the intensity of the move. And it almost could lean that way. So where are we on the entire cycle? Obviously, we're in a daily correction. That's why it could still be a 4, 5, and another 4 to finish the daily cycle. If the daily wants to just continue lower, it can do that, and then it would definitely become a 1-2 if that happened, extending this rally for quite a while. And then the weekly cycle is really in no danger of resetting anytime soon. Look, a lot of room to go. So the bears have a lot of work to break the October 22 cycle on the Qs. I mean, we're just not there yet. So it looks like to me, again, this is either going to bounce at a 4, 5, and then another 4 to complete the daily cycle before higher, or it's going to just become a 1-2, a massive bear trap again, and we extend in another wave 3 out. And that's very possible given what happened today. But it's, we just don't know what will take place. There is always a chance, again, that we can go lower, so I can't rule this out. In the daily cycle, we cannot rule this out, that something like that happens, and then this becomes a 1-2 and not a 4 anymore. So we can't rule that out. The IWM is in a buy area on close here on a wave 4, so this was another opportunity to get long. The IWM. Bitcoin, we still have the buy at 63. I talked about if it took another dump, we could come down here in this 4 still, so it still can drop a little more to 63, 62.5. Keep an eye on that. Oil actually started breaking down. It could be on the verge of a meltdown soon. Silver as well, still in the buy area, so I would still not worry about silver. It's probably still in the same corrective leg. So I still think it's part of this decline, and gold hit the buy area as well today in a 3-wave move. A lot of stocks in the buy area, and then let's take a look. I believe the dollar index here is correcting the entire swing, this whole move. And I mentioned that if this were to happen, gold and silver would get hit kind of hard, but eventually this wave 2 will end somewhere around here, typically in this area where my cursor circled, open up a wave 3. That hasn't happened yet, but when it does, you have to think the market's going to be supported. And then, of course, the 20 and 10-year and 30-year looks like to me that's some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're probably pulling back in another 1, 2 here. This is what's causing the selling pressure, but at some point this will end, and then we'll also get more upside in the market. So there's a lot of things that tell me that happened today that this was just an overdone rally, that perhaps sellers like a charging animal just kind of sidestepped away and let them kind of let the bears wear their energy out. We're not gonna we'll just see how crazy they're gonna be, and then because it was really not a lot of seller panic. It was more just a lot of shorts piling in. The volume was not that high in the sell-off. I read. And this time of year, that's typical as well. So I think it was just, I think it's hard for people to see it now, but I think we'll reflect back in 3 or 4 months as this was a massive bear trap, just like we saw here and here. this, I remember the same thing in April when we got that VIX spike. People were like freaking out. And again, I was like, go watch my video on April 19th. I was like, you know, it's feast on fear, feast on fear. And that proved to be right, even though we had so many people. And I think it's the same thing happening here again. But I can't, like I said, I can't rule out a bounce and a failure. So you have to do what's best for you on that situation. So I am going to change the degree of this cycle here to a 3 on the SPY, and this will sync it up with the NASDAQ, a 3, 4, 5 like this. And so this is either a 3 or another 1, 2. One or the other. So we'll just label it as a 3. But again, if it's a 3, this peak is below these other peaks, so it doesn't appear that it's a very weak wave 3. If it's a wave 3, it's a very weak wave 3. So just keep that in mind. So it's and with the way we sold today, it's actually leading more like it's a 1, 2 again. So just keep that in mind, and that will definitely get us up to these areas eventually. So could have been today, could have been a great opportunity to buy stocks that you do love and cherish, that you've you know, coveted, that you wanted to own. You missed the move. Today could have been a great day to pick up some of those. Okay, let's go to your super chats, and then I'll just jump into questions that you guys have. Okay, Kayla, again, good to see you on here. So silver is still, I believe, still within this corrective leg, as you have 3 legs down and then A, B, C. So but really, as long as you're above 28.5, you should see more upside. And I really look at this as an impulse here. So I really think it's got more upside coming, even if it does want to go a little lower. I'm not worried about it, especially with the dollar index. You know, but the dollar index could still extend higher into this area right here where my cursor is. Let me draw a little box here, somewhere in here. So it still could be pressure on the metals until the dollar index kind of finds a resting spot somewhere in this area here. Not, you know, it could always truncate. I can be wrong, but most likely we still should see some upside, and we may even see a relief rally in the dollar index as well, where it does something like this and comes up later. So where silver gets a little bit of a bounce and then it goes down again. So a lot of ideas, but I warned about this because if this could have been another 1, 2, and then that wouldn't have happened, but we did get the big correction on the big decline, so we're just going to have to let it play out. And then while it does that, silver is just going to have to be, you know, treading water here. What happens if we break this low? It's still not the end of the world, right? So the new area that it would end up is in a double correction down to 27.84 in this area. And I'll draw this box, and I'll just leave it there. If that happens, then this is probably not a 4 anymore. It's probably another 1, 2, which is, so it's a lot of short-term pain, but much better for the future bull case to get out more weak cans, because that's essentially what you'll be doing here. You'll be draining more weak cans, which will allow those weak cans to rejoin later at much higher prices and chase the market up even higher as they got out at the wrong time. But yeah, just you could see more pressure. Now gold is in an interesting spot because it looks like a tight correction here, but again, we could still see a bounce and then another low. Just you can't really predict how the double correction will play out. So thanks for the super chat. Let's go to the next one from Eddie. Yeah, Core, let's take a look at how Core is doing. We've been following Core on our channel for a little bit here. Let's go back and resort everything here. So Core is, we mentioned this 2-wave, right? We mentioned watch the 2-wave, this 2-wave, okay? So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 5, you know, I could put it there. Now, I don't like putting it there because I don't really see the swing count, 1, 2, 3, right? So I'll put it here for now, but if obviously we're correct in this whole move, so typically it'll go between the 4 and the 2, so somewhere around here it should find support. So I'd be looking for a deep. It should go a little deeper in the pullback, but this is a wave 2. We knew we were coming to that this was gonna happen, and then the market will make a decision of either a huge move higher or it will break down, and then it will be pretty much lights out. So it's a very critical moment for this company's stock to have this reversal play out. But typically you'll see more downside down to this area. And it looks like maybe going into earnings, you may be down in these lows. And that's tough to play that because it could easily just gap and drop, or it could gap up here and run. So it'd be a very, this is probably the max pain area for a trader to go into earnings with no real like tip of the hand. No, the market maker is not tipping their hand where it's going to end up. So you'll have to just do what's best for you if you want to play that rise out. If we do go into earnings in this area, just know that it could be a very volatile report potentially. Now, if you come into earnings after this correction and we're up here, then that looks like it's ripe for a breakout. If you come into earnings and you're down in this area, I would be really concerned, okay? CGC is one we haven't done in a while. We can take another look at that. It's been a real tricky. As you can see, guys, look, there's a lot of green still, okay? Amcor green, Amcor is green. That was one of my trade ideas. So it's like not, now AMD got obliterated, right? But I remember I mentioned watch the flat, right? The flat, could be the A, B, C, and I think we got the flat, which is cool because we broke this high. I mean, we should make another swing higher. I really believe that. Breaking down below 141 on AMD would be very bearish, very unusual. But nothing, anything's possible. And then you would put the B there, and I have the box. It will go to $85, $80, $70 for a great long-term investment opportunity. And of course, I would stop out here. This is my stop right there. So here, whatever. So I just mentioned it as we go to your your request here. So CGC is how's it doing? So we had it pushing down. It looks like we got to this area here. Let's take a look at where we are. So we had this 4, we had this 5, a 3, a 4, a 5. It looks like this 2 is done, and we are coming out of wave 2. Right? That's what it looks like to me. And we're pulling back. So it looks like it's trying to push out of this correction. Could drop down to $7, go a little bit lower, but that's what it looks like to me. You have to do what's best for you. If that's the case, then this is an important pivot. So stop loss at 609 is key as you try to play the upside, break out to finish this bigger impulse. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Something like that. And if you really look close at this, at the 15-minute time frame, it may already be done. It may be in the buy area right now. So this may have been one you needed to buy today. It'll be interesting to see how it opens tomorrow. Okay, that's CGC. Let's go to the next one. So Jonathan, Meta. Meta actually worked. That trade idea worked, right? Because we bought Meta right where we thought it should have bounced, right? In this area, and it's turning higher. So Meta at the shorter time frame. So again, it's a flat correction. So we want to see divergence, bullish divergence. You've got that on the 15. Let's look at the 45. Now, the 45, you don't have it. So what that tells me, just thinking out loud, is there's a chance it could make one more low to create the bullish divergence. So it's possible that you get one more low in Facebook to finish the impulse down from this high. It doesn't have to happen, because if I put the one there, then it is a finished correction. But I don't think that's it. I think it's a flat correction, and I think you have 1, 2, 3, 4. We get one more low. That's what I think is going to happen in it on the shorter time frame right now. But it's kind of 50-50 depending on the structure, as long as you're above 413. And we mentioned that because we are in a wave 5 of the cycle from all the way back down at $90. Oh my goodness. So if this wave 5 is over, of course it's going all the way down to 340, 320. But given the intensity of the sell-off in technology recently, you think we'd be trading down here already, and we're not. So it seems like it's being bought. It seems like whatever's happening, the dip buyers are coming in, and the 5 is extending just like we expect it to. So that's where my head is still on it. Let's just take a look at some of the higher time frames, because we had some intense selling, and just kind of validate where we are on the weekly time frame and everything. So let's take a look here. So you had divergence erased here. So that's interesting here. So I still call it a 5. So it is breaking down, but if you look here, you see it's too much distance to cover. So you're not going to get a clue from the RSI. The monthly is probably too high of a degree. The daily cycle, let's look at the daily cycle. You know, it could even be, you know, I didn't label it like this, but I mean, again, this is a little too bullish, but I just throw it out there. It could be a 1, 2. 1, 2. Like we've already corrected this move here. Just saying. Because the weekly cycle here, let's see here, clearly corrected this whole thing from this low. You have your peak here, little bit of bearish divergence. So it's kind of forcing it to me, but I won't, like I said, I don't favor that count for now, but would I be surprised that happens? No, I wouldn't be. If we find this wave 5, boom, then if I go back and have to change it, I won't be too surprised. But I'm not expecting it. I think I am expecting more upside. But what I can't tell you is if this 2 is in or not, and then I put the 1 there. It's just too many. It's kind of 50-50. All right. JRIAC. Let's take a look at that. So we have to go to a monthly time frame. So you have a peak here and a peak here. So it looks like some kind of let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, if I'm just using the RSI system, you know, I'll go back and look at it later. Something like that. And then this is basically a crash correction. But you see how you broke that low right there? But so it's an impulse down. Oh, it's a flat. So that's good. So that's probably the low right here. I would say, you know, guys, about 90% of all the things you've been asking me on my requests all have shown like we're either like have bottomed like here or we are about to. Nothing is like up here anymore. So I think it's like hard to get bearish the market. Like how far can the market crash if 80% of the stocks you're having me cover are going to go down? Like if the market crashes, then this has got to go down to like $10. It's just like, it's almost like it's out of room to go any further technically. Like it's almost like too many companies would have to go out of business to allow the market to crash. So no wonder the breadth has improved technically. It's just there's no more, they can't push the market down anymore because of stocks like this one. It's just too oversold already. You know, I kind of don't like this pattern. We'll go to the 4 hour. Yeah, it's some kind of flat from this peak, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, but then you broke that low, so it turned into like this complex correction of some kind, and then there's actually 5 up here. Just kind of thinking out loud. So if I put it there, you'll have a connector here with 3, 3, 3. Yeah, it's just kind of an ugly start off the bottom, and the way I would like label this is some kind of like, you know, A, B, C, something like that. But clearly it's got to hold. It's got to hold this low right here at 41. So I think the correction's over, but it's going to have to hold that low, and it should start building more upside. Okay. Lilly, you know, is a stock that everyone loves and cherishes. But I did warn the danger. Wave 5, I warned it. I said, hey, this is it. So if this is the case, like a magnet, it's coming all the way down to 699, 700. But it's really what we were traded back in April. So I wouldn't buy the dip here. It's in, I think, a bigger correction. Something like that. Okay. It could actually go lower, because I think it's correct in the whole grand super cycle. Now, let's take a look at the monthly, see if we have a confirmation of that. Not yet. Not yet. So I guess there's a chance. Let's see, we took that out. So what could extend potentially? Let's get rid of some of this. It's kind of hard to see it. Okay, so this wave 5 could extend. This one is over. This cycle's over. We thought maybe this could, no, so this is done. So we could see this wave correct back down to 699.7, okay? And then that would extend this 5. Or it's already finished, the grand super cycle's over, it'll come down, it will bounce, it will fail, and it will go all the way back down to maybe 454, 464 to correct the grand super cycle back here. Back there. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know what Eli Lilly will do. I think the best strategy is to just buy it in 3 waves and see if you get lucky. And if you own it from here, you know, and depending on how much gains you have, you'll have to decide, is it time to rotate into something that's got a better risk reward opportunity. Because it seems like a lot of the reward here is gone and there's just a whole lot of risk left trying to like buy it here, like as an investor. Now here would be a good investment opportunity. Here is like if the grand super cycle's over, you know, you're really playing a dangerous game. If it isn't, you're trying to catch the last bit of fumes of the run up. So I just don't know, but I think it's obviously going lower. It's turned down. Like, and we knew this was coming. We were watching it. Okay, Jonathan, DJT. I'm going to assume you mean the meme stock, Trump stock. If you mean Dow Jones Transportation, just put it in the chat, I guess. But DJT is so the problem I have with DJT is this lower low sequence here. If we didn't do that, I would be more bullish. This looks like some kind of impulse that just finished as we go down in Y. So again, you need to see 3 swings down, something like that. So I think it's going to bounce more, maybe up to 40, and then we should take one more leg lower to define the pullback. This is kind of what I want to see develop. Okay, thanks for the super chat. Harrison, all right, appreciate the super chat. On the NYSR, please. Sure, let's take a look at that. So STM on NYSR, let's take a look at that. I would imagine you mean the NYSE. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, NYSE. Let's see. Okay, so what is this? Oh, it's some kind of semiconductor or something electronic. Okay, so we got a big basin we're trying to come out of. Let's take a look at the monthly RSI. So it looks like to me we have a lot of divergence here. We do have the monthly cycle coming on support, trendline support. So it could bounce here. Very similar looking chart to Amcor, to a lot of these third derivative plays that I've been mentioning. So, you know, you just have to label it something like this, like a 1, 2, and then you have to label where you try to label this as best you can. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's your first impulse down. Then you have another 1, 2. So right away you see if I put 3 here, these peaks are nowhere near taking out the wave 1 peak. So the chances of this being 3 is very slim. So we're going to put it as another 1, 2. So I'll just kind of put a 1, 2 here. Right? And then we look at this cycle. Like it's pretty obvious impulse, you know, pretty easy to label this, right? And now we're coming down, and we came between the 4, so this is deep enough here. Let's take a look at the daily cycle. Yeah, I think you got to be careful of another low. Yeah, I think the way I would play this is just kind of like, if I wasn't in it, I would be waiting for this breakout of whatever this consolidation is here. And if it breaks up, then you know that's a 2, and it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's like gonna go boom, breakout, big breakout. So that's possible. So that's the bullish interpretation. Right? This is the bullish. Now the bearish is it's still in 2. This is some connector, and it's going to make one more low, and I'll show you the buy area if it does that. It'll be 3302. this area, and then the 2 will be here. Um, the market isn't decided yet, but I think the bulls seem to be in control. So it would not surprise me if it's this, and then this, and then this. And this has got, I don't know if it's got earnings coming up or what a catalyst that will generate the thrust out of here. Yeah, earnings next week. So obviously earnings next week could be the catalyst to decide where we're going with it. Is it going to dump to 33 or rip up to 60? I don't know. I wish I could tell the future, but I do think that it seems that if I look at the nature of these waves, this looks like in 3. I don't see 5. I see 5 here. I see 5 here with a little peak there. So maybe the bulls are in control, but they're it's obvious we don't know. So I think you're going to have to do what's best for you, but I do believe even if it does take a dump lower, it's just another viable opportunity, and inevitably we will take out the all-time high and come out of this massive basin at some point, and then boom, moon. That's probably what's going to happen, okay? But good luck on that. And we can even try to draw a trend line here. There. Okay. Thanks for the super chat. Atlas, Berkshire Hathaway. Let's see. Financials were doing pretty well, right? Recently. Didn't really get hit today, so we called the wave 3 breakout, right? We got it. So it's still in the middle of wave 3, really. I mean, we got the first pullback, so maybe we got the first wave 4 today, but you see how small that degree is? So it may be the wave 4 of this. So we don't know the degree yet until tomorrow's trade-in, but it could be this. But obviously that's probably yeah. So but financials are really bullish. So it should still keep going higher, like the Dow. So just keep going higher. But it can still pull back a little bit more, right? If it's a higher degree wave 4, like we had here. So I don't know, but I mean, we called it right. I remember, asking about this, and we got this, breakout of a pretty big flagpole that really is just getting started. So good luck on that. Good luck on that. Oh, TR, appreciate it, man. You made my day with that super chat. I thank you so much for those big super chats, guys. Yeah, the more I get those, the more I want to do these live streams every day. That's for sure. The more I want to help out here. I've never heard of this Andy crypto. I guess it's a new one for me. That's a new one. Andy ETH. I have no freaking idea what this one is. This is a new one. Wow, this got to be what exchange? Can you tell me what exchange you want this on? Or there was only a couple I saw, so I guess we could only pick so many. You gave me such a big super chat. I'd like to make sure I give it the right look for you, because that other exchange had no price data. We can try this one. Yeah, none here either. And I'll let you put your super chat in to see what exchange you want, and which one of these. Try it, Mac. Okay, so I'll do this one. So I'll just work with what I got. I'll go to the 15-minute time frame, or the 45-minute. We'll just work with what we have here. Okay, so there we go. All right. Yeah, it's a brand new one. Okay, cool. All right, brand new ones are pretty cool to do. So right away we came off the low and looks like some kind of 5-wave move. Okay, so it's bullish off this low right here. So we're going to try to trade it by buying the dips. you have your connector wave right there, it looks like. And that's exactly where we bounced, right? So it's behaving very much like a stock in a bull market would. So it looks like, we have the right direction, right, here. And now we came out of that with the bullish divergence. So it looks like we corrected the first wave off the low. So I would like to see it go deeper down to 10,408. Okay, that's the better area. So be on the lookout for a bounce and failure, or or it could just drop straight down. It's just like really tough to say how it's gonna develop. But you did reset the 15. The 45 could drop more. So yeah, I think you got to be careful of about. So if I was trading it, I would be concerned that you don't get some kind of something like that. And then because it's 5 off the low, it should find buyers for more upside in the future. So now, is this guaranteed to happen? It isn't. Because it did go deep enough, but I would like to see it go a little deeper. I'd like to see the 45-minute a little more oversold, but it could do that. I guess this cycle went from the 8th of July to the 18th. It's a 10-day cycle, so we're at the 18th, so the 28th. So this could last to the end of the month. So yeah, so this could easily bounce and fail, and then finish its correction toward the end of the month. And you have to remember where crypto is in general too, right? Because the count we have right now in Bitcoin, the king, right, of crypto is a 5, and then it should pull back again. This should keep, if the king falls, so does the kingdom, right? If the king goes down, the kingdom should go down too. Same thing with Andy coin. And if it's trading against ETH, it's the same count. So now like I said, the only way for the correction to be over is this is another 1-2, and we just moon and shock everyone. But I don't think that's the most likely path. This is the most likely path that I see, and maybe it's a 15% chance that it just goes up. And so when I look at that Andy coin, what I think is going to happen because of that is a bounce. And then that's what I'm thinking, okay? But good luck trading that. Thanks for the big super chat, man. Aldridge, Ultra buy at 370 MOD if time allows. Yeah, since you give the super chat, I do what you want me to do here because that's the way it works. That's what I've always done. So Ultra. OULTRTA. Oh, we have that charted already. I just don't remember it. All right, so we're looking for this wave 2 to finish. Did it finish now? It could be done. Let's look at the cycle. We just broke down today. Right? You see that? So chances are that 2 is in, and we're heading lower. I do believe, the low I have is at 320. I don't think 370 is the low. I don't think so, because think about it, again, big picture. This is a big move higher. You're breaking this pivot. If this happens, so this will create a lot of pressure on market participants that are trapped, and they'll all want to get out. Look at this top-in pattern. That could have more follow-through. So I don't think so. I think if we break this level, this pivot here, then this is a validated chart. Now I think the 45-minute is telling you it's in danger of a big drop. So I'm just giving you some warning signs. Now I can be wrong. There's always a chance 2 extends higher, but I don't like this chart. I do think it's still going to go lower. based on what I see. MOD, let's take a look. Modine. Looks like it's pretty bullish. Wow, straight vertical. We'll have to start with the monthly. We took the peak out, so we did get that wave 3 price action we're looking for. Right, something like that. Wow, this is crazy. What a crazy stock. Up. Just kept extending. Just a classic wave 3 extension. And now you have the bearish divergence. Something like that. So this higher degree wave 3 should be set at any moment. This should pull back down to 83, down to this wave 4 cluster. That's typical and not guaranteed, but should come back down to here, and you should get a 618 retrace of this whole thing. Again, this is all typical. It's not guaranteed, just to give you an idea, and that's 73.98. So if that, once this thing peaks, which it can at any moment, you would be looking for a pullback down to 73.98. So more than likely, the easy money has been made and is over, and you've got a lot of sideways to a lot of choppiness in the future. If I was trading it and I was fortunate enough to get it here, I would be selling it here and going into something else that has more potential to run. But you do what's best for you. But this is what I think you got coming up, something like that. All right, Iceman, let's go to you. Okay, so we talked about Nike. Nike is due for a bounce at 70. And I don't know if it got there or not today with the sell-off. Let's look. Close. It's almost there. So you could try to pinpoint your entry as much as you can, but I do believe it will bounce at $70. But I do think this bounce is going to fail. So I'm just giving you my personal opinion. I do think that this bounce here will fail and make another low. So now, why do I think that? I think that because if I remember this chart right, so you see these divergences. So this weekly time frame needs to really come down and really take out all these peaks more convincingly. Let's look at the monthly. Looks like the monthly just did that. Again, I like to get a little bit more push lower, and the daily time frame does look okay. The weekly, so it's just, to me, it needs a little more downside. I think it would be a surprise to have it form a major low here, but you'll have to decide if you want to try to play this and then just let yourself get stopped out if it's not the low. You'll just have to decide. But I do think, yeah, is it going to bounce? I think it's due for a bounce at any moment, but probably a little bit lower. Robinhood, yeah, Robinhood is, see if I can find it. I'm trying to remember where I stuck Robinhood at. Robinhood is one of our home run trades on our channel that we've had before. And we've pretty much nailed all those swings right. So again, you got this 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. It wants to bust out of this. It's just the bears are losing slowly but surely. Um, bigger picture, bottom, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for 1, 2, okay? And then our 1, 2. Here I don't put that as a 3 because of all the divergence. We need to take these peaks out. So I think it's just, just kind of bouncing around. Again, this shorter time frame, I could even make this like a 2 here. I could make this like an A, B, C, and it drops back to 20. So I'll give you guys this setup just in case this happens for a second chance entry at $20. So there is a possibility of something a little more sinister like this, but I'm not going to label that until I see more evidence of that. But again, do I care personally? No, because we bought it back at $10. I had it at like $8. So like my cost basis in this is so low, I could care less what. This is just day trader wars. Like my position is set for a long time in this. We got in this at the right moment. We saw this breakout and we took advantage of it. This breakout, this chart with this breakout here and back up. This is very similar what I'm seeing in Magnite play out, guys. Very similar. How it kind of goes a little bit higher, and it pulls back. Just same type of, so this is a classic way to bottom and then of course you hit that vertical moment. So that's what everyone wants to get. And of course we caught that on our channel. So anyway, that's why I look at Robinhood. Rolton Cheese again. Let's look at some of yours on Bloom Energy. Let's take a look at that. Bloom Energy. I believe we've looked at this before. So we had this buy area at 643, and yeah, we still didn't really quite get there. Looks like this wave 5 did push down a little bit lower, but this could be a connector. Let's take a bigger look here. So we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So for another 1, 2, but we broke this low with divergence. So it impulsed down. Yeah, let's just step back and think about this for a minute. Yeah, we're gonna, instead of labeling, we're gonna have to label it as some WXYs, and maybe the corrective pattern will emerge and reveal itself a little bit better, because I don't think right, and I'm not gonna label, but you get the idea. Well, actually, let's just take one step at a time. Yeah, see, there's that peak. So that's the whole thing there. So there's the big connector. Okay, get rid of all that. And let's just check our target again. Okay, so we still have the same target. Okay, then Y. So we'll just kind of so there's your first W right there. Interesting. We corrected the whole thing. Yeah, I look at this count. We have to put that there, the Y here. Yeah, this is it really should have finished right there. And because it didn't, this is going to be a connector wave. And so it's actually going to still correct. It's going to have a bounce, a bigger bounce more than likely, but it's going to go lower again later. So to me, this is too shallow. It's too shallow. So I think it's got more upside coming. But at some point, that's going to more than likely fail and then make another low. So I think it's something like that coming. And the weekly cycle will have to like, so you'll want to see the weekly cycle, boom, bust up, and then you'll know it's pretty much done at that point. So that's how I see it, something like that. EL, Estee Lauder. Let's see, it looks like we've done that one before. Oh, we're almost at our buy area. Look at that. So we have a buy at 90.34. We're almost at 96. So it's probably should be just about finished. Its correction. 3. Yeah, it's a monthly correction. So it's going to finish at any moment. At any moment. Let's look at trend lines. You know, it's you know, it should finish at any moment. It would be ideal if the weekly could take that divergence out. Boom, take that out there. Okay. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that's no change. That's what I would see. And of course, it's a 1-2. Okay. PSTG. Pure Storage. All right. Something like that. It could be correct in a bigger cycle, so it may actually have already topped here. Our count could be off just by a little bit. I could probably, yeah, see there's a little bit of bearish divergence there. I could probably do this and then put this 3 there. And then that would drop you down to like 48, 47 for more upside later. That's probably the most likely path on that one. SIMO. Silicon Molten. Looks like that's another one we have already. Yeah, looks like we called this 3. We have this 2. So we're stuck in this 2 wave. Probably a flat. A, B, C. So they'll give you the flat target. Would be down here. And it does look like it needs to finish its impulse a little bit more. You know, I look at this wave here. You could probably force 5 waves. So there's actually a chance this could be more bullish. Yeah, probably not. Because this peak is below that peak. Yeah, nah. So more than likely, yeah, that's a flat. So I think it's got more downside coming. Um, and we're still stuck in this wave too. It's got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't see the 4 and 5 really developed. It still looks like we're in some kind of third wave. All right, thanks for the super chat. Scott, appreciate that super chat, man. Yeah, Palantir. I think Palantir was a stock that was green today, if I wasn't mistaken. Again, not everything was red, guys. I know. If you just watch the headline indices, you would think there was like a market crash today. And for a minute, I was like, then I looked at my portfolio and I was like, oh, it's not that bad. I was like, what's going on? So yeah, it's just a real strange day. Palantir closed green. it's it's this is too difficult to label here because there's too many possibilities. I could put the 2 there. I could make this a 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, I could also just say we're in a flat and it will drop tomorrow back down to 26. This is, but I mean, it's pretty obvious if we were down almost 600 points today and this closed green, what do you think is going to happen when the market's green? This thing's just going to be running. So I think it's pretty safe to say nothing's changed. So Palantir is a pretty easy chart to get behind. GameStop, let's look at, yeah, GameStop, I gave you guys that target yesterday, and it hit it today. It hit the target. I gave you guys the target on my live stream. I said, you know, we were here, and I was like, well, typically you go to the wave 4, so look for like 25, 20, you know, and sure enough, that's where we did it. Got here. So this is the buy area. It hit the buy area on close. It's at the wave 4 support, so it honestly can reverse at any moment, and I expect a bounce at any moment. Now, it could always bounce and fail, right? There's always a possibility you get some kind of bounce and, you know, does something like that, but it's due for a bounce, a relief rally, or a low. Like, look, you have hidden bullish divergence here and here. So and then on the 15-minute, you have capitulation, right? There's your connector wave. That's how I projected the target. So I do think it's ready to bounce, especially if the Russell's ready to bounce too. Oh yeah, price targets of 50. Well, I guess I gave you those price targets, you know, a week ago. So I already told you where Palantir is going. I mean, but yeah, it's green. That's what I'm saying, man. If the market had that kind of VIX spike, that kind of sell-off, and you got a mixture of stocks and speculative stocks green, it wasn't really a risk-off day. It was like, it was hidden. It was masked. It's just a weird, as I say, it's a weird day. I don't think it's time to be like all pumped up bearish because of what happened today. I mean, I just think it's bears getting frustrated and overplaying their hands here, and then the bulls like stepping aside, saying, "Oh, okay, if you're that stupid to sell it, let's see how low, how much you're gonna want to short it. Well, just keep shorting it, and then the bulls are just gonna flood in, and this thing's gonna V bottom. You watch, that's what's gonna happen. Something will drop, and boom, V bottom, and then the bears will be like again like here, like, oh, this was the top. Oh no, and it's sad to see this keep happening again and again. But that's more than likely what's going to happen with this thing, based on what happened today. Now, their best chance was to play the bounce to new highs, trap more people, bring it down, trap more people. Then if they drop, man, that could have really created a waterfall sell-off that they dream about. But I think they just got too like frustrated, just like a gambler at a casino that keeps losing and is just like, this, I'm just like furious and revenge trading, you know, out of revenge. I'm going to just throw my whole stack in there and yeah, screw you guys. Now take that. and the bulls are just laughing their ass off like, are you serious? Huh? What the hell did you just do? Are you really giving me all your money? You're really giving me AMD at 150? What? Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, that's what I was looking at today. Like, are you freaking kidding me? You're gonna give me some of these stocks like at these prices, like, all right, sure, I'll take, if you're willing to be stupid enough to sell it to me, okay, I'll take it. And that's was my attitude trading today, guys. That's how I was thinking about. There's no fear today, despite what may have been felt by these headline numbers. Okay, let's keep going with the super chats. Mitzo, PayPal. Yeah, how did PayPal do today? I didn't peek at the financials. Looks like it's pulling back here. This could be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's how I would label it. So I was looking for a little bit more bullish, but we didn't get that. So we got like a tight wave 1 off the low here. And again, people are probably really frustrated with PayPal because they're just so hopeful. But here it is. You'd find the support at right where it is now. But as you can see, it still has the ability to go lower. Looking at this chart here. To 59.42. So there's a second chance entry right here on PayPal, potentially. So it has more downside potential. You got this gap here that may fill. That would be perfect entry between the 4 and the 2 as well. So it lines up a lot of my criteria, and then it could come out. Then Baba is, it's in the back, backing into a low situation. It can't go if it breaks. It's like that the weekly cycle low. It's going to be in a free fall, a waterfall sell off, a panic. So it really can't break this low here, 58. I still have, again, I haven't changed this chart in weeks, and this is where I'm seeing it. So I'm still seeing it coming down to the low 60s. Boom. And then where do I see the Hang Seng Index, guys? Obviously here. Boom. When we get here, buy YINN. This is the time to go buy YINN and all the stocks you covet in China right here. Here, I'm not interested in buying any of that shit. None of it. So that's how I trade. So we're going to have to wait. China is just not time based on my system. Pizza. Domino's got hit hard today, I heard. I heard that. And again, they're like, oh, it's just the consumer strapped. No, I think I'm like dumbass. It's the GLP-1s, guys. If you're on these GLP-1s, you're not fucking eating pizza anymore. It's just that's how it works. And there's millions and millions of people on these drugs now, and they just not. Again, just like a lot of corporate executives, they're just not in touch with the reality of the situation. So that's why these things are getting really hit. So Papa John's should be due a bounce here, a relief rally to correct this leg down, but that should fail. We're looking for the 20s. That's the ultimate low. But don't be surprised to see a big bounce coming. Maybe back up to 52. All right. U is Unity Software. That was another one that just not working out. Not working out for a lot of people. We have this 4 here that we're in. Could it be done? It's possible, but more than likely it's got more upside. But I'm looking for still another low into this area here. So still nothing's changed to me. It looks like we have started the wave 4. This is too shallow. I mean, look at the match in wave 2. Look how big that pumped. This could pump all the way back up to like 25. I mean, so it's got room to pump to correct this whole leg. So just keep that in mind. All right. Zoom was another one that that we really beat up on my channel. Like, just like these guys running the company really blew a good opportunity. Let's see where we are. It wants to have its waterfall sell-off moment. It just hasn't happened yet. I believe technically it's toast. Okay, so I'm looking for a 1-2, 1-2. It just needs the right news to create the panic sell-off. Nothing's changed. I would not buy it. I don't recommend it. Like big picture, it's this. You have this massive. Whoops here. You have this massive top that broke the long-term trend line. You did have a relief rally connector, very shallow, and it got rejected with lower lows. I mean, this is all it could bounce after dropping from all the way freaking up here. That's all. That means people are just like happy to short this thing maybe to zero. I don't know why it's so bearish, but I do not like buying it here. Now, sometimes though, I will say these 1-2-1-2s can play out just a little bit. Trade, they could be a little trickier. It could also become something like this, and then you get something like this, back up to 67 and then down. So just watch for that little trap, you know, that little trap here. So that's another possibility. So just keep that in mind. Hey, Popcorn Tuna, thanks for the 20, man. I really appreciate that. Gold miner, yeah, let's take a look at the gold miner and see how it's doing. AEM, we don't have that here. Eagle Mines. Oh wow, it's looking like it's about to break out of a big consolidation pattern. Look at that. Whoops, let's get that right here. Okay, so right away on the monthly here. More than likely, that's the whole cycle right there. Something like that. Flat. Yeah, so let's see here. One, two, three, flat, connector wave, 5, A, B, C. So what I have here is really just an A, B, C. Okay. So this is a problem here. So because I don't see 5 waves here, okay, there's a couple possibilities. Could it be 2? It can be, right? And then this was a flat, but that would essentially bring it to 0. So let's rule that possibility out, and it doesn't line up with the rest of my other sector, some stocks in the same sector. So what it probably is going to be some massive lead in diagonal coming out of this, where you do 3 swings out. So it's got to be something like it's going to come out something like that, and then pull back, and then moon. So you may have to be in this thing for quite a while. So it just I think that's kind of like the pattern you may see develop over years if you're going to hold it. Now the only other alternative that I can justify with this chart, and again, the RSI doesn't support it, but the Elliott wave, a pure Elliott wave does. Elliott wave theory would is a 1-2, 1-2, and then of course a 1-2, right? 3, 4, 5. That should be coming to an end at any moment. To correct this leg is another 1, 2. Right, and down. So that I can't tell you which path the market will take, but more than likely, if gold and all this other stuff's going to be in it, so I think you could go with this for now and just see how we break out here. Because if we really break out hard, then of course that's what we're in. If it's a week, and then it's probably what I showed you earlier. So I think that's kind of how I would chart it. Okay. EWZ. iShares, Brazil ETF. Yeah, I was keeping my eye on that here. I think I was charting that. So big picture, we got 3 waves down, big move, 1, 2. And then here I was like, what could this be here? So I was looking, could be a 1 with a 3, a connector, and then another 3 down, but I guess let's label this out and see where we could end up. Something like that. It's probably not labeled perfect, but you get the idea. So I'm just going to put this as like a 1, 2. That looks like 5 there. Let's see how we keep breaking these lows. And then we broke the low there. So yeah, so I bet it's got more downside. And then this is your connector. There's your connector. So something like this. And then there's your other connector. Something like that. And then we go down to finish the correction, which is what I think we're doing. Which gets you to 22.92 right here to retest this low. That's what I think's happening here. What's interesting is you see the kind of the downtrend line I have. We kind of tried to break out and fell back in it. So obviously it's building pressure from buyers. Eventually, I think in this time period, we'll be up here. So it's probably is a good long-term investment opportunity, even though you're trying to like time it. More than likely, it's being accumulated here. So, all right, thanks for the super chat. All right, JR, BRBY. Burberry. Was the sector retail? All right, I'll give you my thoughts on the retail. So, I mean, if you look at it, it looks like 5 waves up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a flat. I mean, so it's correcting, obviously, the grand super cycle from the beginning. Yeah, it's just a massive correction. Buy is at 626. It's almost there. It's almost at the buy area. So it's almost a great opportunity for long positions for long-term investors right here. That's where I would have forecasted the entry. and then we should come out of this mess. Now, the sector, I mean, there's, I don't do fundamental analysis on the sector. I could just say the XRT. I mean, that's kind of like retail, but then this is higher end, so the higher end stuff tends to do better typically. So it's just tough to say. I would say that my thoughts on the sector typically, like if it's consumer goods and that type of thing, consumer discretionary is in a bear market right now, right? Nike and all those stocks, but not all of them, but most of them. But when those all bottom, there'll be like a massive amount of upside. They're not Starbucks, Nike, those things aren't going to zero. Under Armour, like they're not going bankrupt. So they're going to bottom and be in a new secular bull market. So they're closer to the lows. They're almost, let me put it this way, they're almost at major lows and they're well away from their highs, just like Burberry is here. So that means the sector outlook must be pretty good, because if the outlook is any worse, these are all going bankrupt and there's just no more room. So you have to imagine that maybe somewhere out in this area the sector's going to do well, okay? But it could still have a lot of pain for the next 4 years, it looks like. But I bet the next decade shit will recover and the consumer will return and Burberry will be resurrected with Nike, with Starbucks, with all that shit, Lululemon, and so. But right now, I think a lot of this consumer discretionary stuff's in like grand super cycle bear markets, like big bear markets, and of course it's not all of it, but most of it. Okay, let's go to AMC. Let's take a look at AMC here. Yeah, how's that doing today? I didn't really pay attention to that. How's AMC doing? Looks like some kind of flat correction. 1, 2. Put it here. So it's in a flat. It should have bottomed today, or maybe just a little bit lower. Yeah, see right there, $5. So it's at so right here. So this is the buy area right here. So hopefully we'll find some support right there. So that's what I'd be looking for the bottom here, somewhere in this area. It looks like it's just some kind of flat correction that played out, like some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The divergence. Let's go to the 15-minute. Yeah, 15 minutes a little different. You see how you didn't have it? See, this is why I put the 1 here. Let's take another look at it. Just one more. Let's take another closer look. Yeah, let's change the target a little bit. I think it could go a little bit lower because I think the peak is a little different. I'm gonna stick it there and down, but the idea is the target would be at 478. So maybe you want to be a little more conservative and cautious that you don't get down to this area, but it's correct in this low. As long as you're above 433, it should continue higher eventually. Okay. I ate the asset. Hey man, thanks for the 100. That is awesome, man. Again, those big super chats, I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Let's jump into RMBS. Yeah, RMBS. Let's take a look at that here. Rambus. So Yeah, it's just a weird chart, so it's going to be hard to use the RSI system to find like if to confirm a low. But I think it's safe to say that we'll call that bullish from here. Now, one thing I've noticed is it's really just three swings up from this low. So we'll have to assume we're in a connector wave. This is a connector wave of some kind, or a probably better way to label that is an ABC. Right. Yeah, it could be in danger of peaked out. It may have already peaked. More than likely, it's the connector wave is finished. If that's the case, it should just make its way all the way back down. So I'd be really careful trading the long side of this. Um, you may want to try to short it against this high as an opportunity. That may be the opportunity here. So just I would be careful in it. It looks like to me this is just a big connector wave for this cycle down, and it will just come down and make lower lows. So just be careful in that. And then CrowdStrike, yeah, how's that doing? So we had the flat target. We hit the target today. So today was a buy in CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike should complete this impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 3 swings. Today was the day to pull the trigger on CrowdStrike. Boom. Pretty straightforward. No changes. Let's look at the higher. Again, we'll just check out the higher time frames just to double check to see if there's something else going on. 1, 2, yeah, no, it's good. So there you go. That's pretty straightforward chart. So CrowdStrike should be do a pretty good bounce coming up. Again, thanks for that big super chat, man. So I'm going to go scan through comments. I saw a lot of people asking about SoundHound, so I'll do SoundHound real quick. SoundHound double corrected. Here's our connector. So the buy area is right here from $5 to $4.41. It's inside of it. It looks like to me you've got an A, B, C, a 1, 2, 3. It may need a bounce and a failure, but it is in an area that it should reverse. It should reverse out. So just just decided to double correct, which the whole market did, right? We could, and even this was still a little too shallow, right? But it's just taking another swing lower. So I still would just label it this way for now. I see a lot of that. Let's go see here. I'll just kind of start at the top, and if I have the chart, bomb in Tesla. Tesla's either in a wave 5 or it's about to like really go vertical. I just can't. It's either in this 5th wave, and then there'll be a big dump, or this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's about to go frickin' boom. So I don't know. Y'all have to do what's best for you. You have to do what's best for you. I don't know. But I'm still long. I don't want to sell it. CMG, Chipotle guys. I think we called the top in that one. Yeah, and it busted through. We would have been stopped out. So it's actually it's not a flat. It's going to be a wave 5 correction. So we had to label it like this. So it's obviously correcting. Look, it's correcting the whole cycle from 22. So this is going to be in a bear market for a while now. It's probably due a bounce. It's due a bounce, but more than likely that bounce will fail. Okay. A lot of bear news about it. A lot of FUD out there on it. So I think it's got something like that happening. That is a wave 3. So we can also try to project a target with the 618. That would be 51. Oh wow, so we're already there. Maybe I'll take that back. there's a chance it could have just been a crash correction in this wave 4. So maybe you get lucky and can get another high out of it. And then when this high comes, it's the whole grand super cycle, or no, I take that back. One more, 3, 4. So it's, I guess, it's gonna be pretty volatile for a while. So something like that. So this actually could bounce and make a new high based on the count in the cycle. So looking at that for Chipotle. We've looked at Roblox before, and we were like more bullish on it, right? We said that it was getting ready to turn into wave 3, and that's what it's doing. So you've got this 1, 2. Looks like it's just grinding higher. No change. So looking good. Roblox looks good. AMD is a flat. I will show AMD, guys. And I think it's just a flat and an A, B, C in this 2. And again, I think B will extend. I think it's too shallow. Can't rule it out, but if we do break 140.81, it'll be a catastrophe in the stock, I'll tell you, because that means there must be so much trapped sellers. It's going to go sub 100, man. So I just don't see it happening. So I do see this. Now, could it go? It could still even push a little lower. I mean, by my system, the flat can push lower. It could push down to 145 even. So you're just going to have to know when to fold them, right? How what's your money management look like? But this is what I'm playing for right now. Okay. Again, I'm just going to skip through these because I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm just kind of scanning through comments. The Russell index, I think that's what is Russell. It should continue to be supported and go higher, but we're in 3s, 4s, and 5s, of course. IWM, I gave if you guys missed it, the IWMs earlier, you could just replay the super chat. Yeah, I was pretty confident on the triple Qs because the system I use typically works, but nothing's 100%. So that's why I always say you got to do what's best for you, but the triple Qs will bounce, and yeah. So and if you got to understand, like, it extended lower. There's nothing you can that can happen. So if the system was 100%, I would have a robot program to trade, and I would be a billionaire. So that's why you always got to manage your money and not just blindly follow my ideas. I give you my ideas. I was in it, and today I rotated out of that into another technology stock. So I got rid of my Q trade, and then I moved into an actual stock in the technology sector that would give me even more upside on this 5. That was more oversold. That was a better deal, better risk reward than even this. So that was how I played it. But that's why I say everything's a little different, and it's just the way trading goes. And nothing is guaranteed. I'm not always 100% right, or I would be famous on TV, right? I would be writing books and be have millions and millions of dollars. And so yeah, look, we got stopped out, right? So you got stopped out. So that's what happens. There's nothing we can do about that. Now, I do think it's going to reverse out. So the people that got stopped out are going to be really pissed off. But, that's the way this game's played sometimes. But other sectors didn't get stopped out. The SPY, buy. IWM, buy. So it just can happen. So this is kind of how I saw the market. So that's how I see it. And I did think we'd get a morning shakeout, right? And we did. It just was a little more extreme than I expected. And that just can happen. So that's good public service announcement for anyone that's following me. I did sound. A lot of people like sound. Kind of scares me so many people in sound, but that's okay. If the technicals play out, then it should bounce. I don't have a Discord, no Discord. I just do this as like a hobby that I'm just trying to help you guys. I'm just kind of reading things here. Again, I can't cover everybody's question, and if you didn't get your question answered, again, super chat, I'll go to it. ANF was better than NVIDIA. Yeah, I was thinking of buying ANF today, but I said, I don't know. There's other things that were better buys today, but it was tempting. Neo is kind of stuck in the mud. Maybe we need the Hang Seng to hit that buy area. Intel kept going up. I've already done an update on Intel. Nothing's changed. I think that was green today. Yeah, Shop was heading down just like I thought it would. I warned you guys about Shopify. Not the FOMO in that. I'll check out. I see a lot of Pan W in there. Pan W, so I'll check that out. Pan W. Oh, Palo Alto. Yeah, that one's got a weird structure because I worry about the rug pull type on on this wave 5, and I wonder if we already got it here. I think we're probably still in the 4, so no, I bet it's still got one more high. I think it's a potential buy opportunity here. Yeah, so it's like in a buy area. Okay, something like that. So let's see something like this and then down. I still think that can happen to it because it's correct in the grand super cycle, but can I guarantee that chart? Not. I think this is it. I think that's what it's going to do. I just have a funny feeling this is what's going to happen with it. So I just don't like buying it. Oh, last minute super chat. Cool. Oh, thanks, Bama. Appreciate that. I thanks for the 20. Like I said, you guys, those big super chats really help me, and again, it motivates me to do even more live streams, and that benefits everyone. ETH, so Ethereum, guys, is like Bitcoin. Again, I'm just showing you the most likely path, but it looks like to me we're in off the low. Could it still drop? We could still be in this wave 4, you see? So I can't rule out another push lower, but I do think we have a low, or maybe it's done here. I just can't tell. And then one more high, and then a bigger pullback, something like that. That's what I think's about to happen. Now, what would surprise me is if this becomes a 1-2, and then it just takes off. I think it's a 15. I can't rule that out, but that's like a 15% chance. Okay, appreciate that. BY, did I miss a super chat? BYND was a missed super chat. Okay, yeah, let me do that real quick. BYND. Let me do that. Beyond Meat. It's in our buy area. So this thing's been being accumulated for quite a while here. Yeah, the 5 is done here probably. So I think it's being accumulated. It's one of these small caps being accumulated, and it just hasn't had its short squeeze pump yet, but it probably will happen. It will emerge. It's probably moving in 3 waves, so it's obviously some kind of connector wave that we're gonna be part. It's gonna be part of. So we broke that low. Yeah, that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, so I think so. This is tricky, and this is like a really this is like deep, treading in deep water, swimming in deep water here if you're trading this. But if the only trade I could see is going long here against 593, and it could be a huge reward with very low risk. So for one of those short squeeze, melt up type things. So that's what I see developing here, but you'll have to do what's best for you. Now, if we break that, then this is a connector for the whole move, and it's essentially going to be a go to zero. And then this was just some kind of bear flag type, or some kind of pattern, inverse cup and handle, whatever the hell you want to call it. But maybe you can risk a little bit, just throw, play around in it and see if you get lucky with this 3. Yeah, that may happen with the ETF drop. I know the ETF's coming out. Yeah, I was like, why was ETHE selling off today? And then I found out what they did. They split off 10% of their shares or some shit like that as a special, like, payout or something. I was like, so I was kind of wondering why that dropped today, but I figured it out. I think they had that on TV later, explaining it. Yeah, CLSK is another one I know everybody likes to watch. I'm worried about this triangle here. Again, I want to see it down here. I'm just waiting, and it got rejected here right on the. So here again, you have 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2. Maybe we get lucky with 3. So maybe, just maybe, this is the top. Now we'll get the move. So I'm just waiting for this here. I'm being really patient, so we'll see. So I just think it could be just a triangle, like it's just trying to consolidate to finish this structure. So. What about Din was also breaking out? Yeah, I just don't know Din off the top of my head. Yeah, sorry about the Smith super chat. Sometimes it's hard scanning all these comments. But that's why I try to take a moment to just flip through them. AMD is really strange. Yeah, I'm like to see it break down like that is really puzzling to me, given it's a semi and they have the GPUs and stuff. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. But what do I know? I got a last one. Oh, another super chat, Aldridge. Cool. Thanks again for the super chat, man. So I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Let's see how the futures are doing. I don't think they're doing that. They're not really doing nothing today. Like I said, there was a lot that kind of spooked the market, right? There was even news going around China was about to invade Taiwan today. I heard somebody, I was like, that was on Twitter. So they were dropping all sorts of crazy shit on the internet to get you to sell. So we'll wait and see. I think the VIX is key. But I talked about this VIX is like this wedge. Now we tried to break out of it here, right? And it got boom, fought back. We tried to come out. So it's a lot of resistance in this wedge because once this wedge breaks out, then the bears have their dream come true because then the shit's gonna really unravel technically. But I don't think it's going to. I just don't think it's going to do it. Oh, Apple, yeah. Because I was looking at Apple. Apple, we called the flat on my channel last night, and I warned about it. It hit the buy area today. So this was putting pressure on the market. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the Apple looks like it's found, gonna find the low here. So that's good. Again, here's your wave 4. So Apple was a pretty good buy today, if you wanted to take it, take a stab at Apple. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Appreciate it. Good luck trading tomorrow. If we get more crazy action, I'll do another live stream. If not, I'll do my usual one on Saturday that I normally do.